If you're struggling with Pythagorean theorem, watch this 5-minute video. That's all you need. Let's talk about the equation for Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What does this equation mean to us? What we're trying to say is that if we have the length of the two sides of the triangle, we will be able to find the length of the third side. And it really doesn't matter which two sides we have, we will be able to find the third side. And you may ask, like, okay, why are we squaring everything in here? Well, because this is how it works. If we square each side, we're basically creating this virtual squares on each side. And basically, the two short sides added together should equal the surface area of the long side. And we know if we find the surface area of any square, then we can square root that number and find the actual side length. Or let's go ahead and find the side length of this triangle. Try an example. But before we do that, we really need to understand or know which side is A, which side is B, which side is C. Well, thankfully, right angle, each side has a name. So side A, the name is the leg. So we call this a leg. And we call side B a leg. And then side C is the hypotenuse. Okay, so that's great. How do I know from this triangle which one is side A and side B, since those are the legs? Well, side A and side B are connected to the right angle. See this square over here? That tells us this is the right angle. And so the right angle means it's 90 degrees, by the way. So this means these two sides are connected to this angle. And side C is across from the right angle, as you can see. So there you have it. The hypotenuse is across from the right angle, and the legs A and B are connected to the right angle. And that's it. That's all you need to know to solve any Pythagorean theorem problem. Now that we determined that that's side A and side B, let's go ahead and solve it. So we know that side A is 6, and we know that side B is 8. All right, so let's go ahead and plug in those numbers. 6 squared, it's for my A, plus 8 squared equals c squared. All I did here is just plugged in my number. So 6 squared, that means 6 times 6 equals 36. 8 squares means 8 times 8 is 64. So this equals c squared. All right, so let's go ahead and add those two together, which will be 100 c squared. Now remember we talked about this virtual square that was on the other side that we created, right? So that means we still don't have the side length, and we need to find the side length. Therefore, we know that a number was multiplied by itself because we found the surface area. So let's go ahead and square root it. Square root of 100 is 10. Square root of c squared is c. So we have time for another question, and let's take a look and start again with what do we know. All right, so let's first identify which side information do we have. Even though the orientation of this triangle is a bit different, you should know that side A and B are attached to the right angle. And at this point, we have the number for side B, but not for side A. We just don't know. Let's go ahead and put a question mark in here. And we also know what is the length of the side C, which is 15. So let's go ahead and write that. A, we do not know. B is 12 and C equals 15. And from here, we can plug in the numbers. So for A, I'm just going to leave it as is because that's our variable. And then B is 12 squared. And then C is 15 squared. Let's go ahead and square everything. We're treating this as an equation, which it is an equation. 144, 12 times 12, and then 15 times 15 is 225. All right, so let's go ahead and subtract 144 from each side because it was added. We're doing the opposite, rewinding, and bring down the a squared equals 81. Now remember, we created this virtual square, and now we have to find the side length of the square. To do that, we have to square root the number, which means finding what number was multiplied by itself that equaled 81, which will be 9. So the side A will be, the length of the side A will be 9. So if you learned something new in this video, please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. And remember, learning math takes patience, practice, and perseverance. See you on the next one.